Welcome back to the K4Wins, along with Case Kiefer, Executive Director, Chief Editor of the Las Vegas Sun. Kai Gregory's been playing both sides of the ledger for many, many years, knows exactly what he's talking about, loves team totals. And, of course, Kai Gregory, Executive Director of the Birmingham Racecourse and Casino, right below us and a handicapper in his own right. I'm Tony Kurre. We've got another wonderful season in the books, 47 bowl games. Don't tell me Vegas doesn't know what they're talking about. 23 and 24. Favorites over underdogs and the over-unders, 20 overs, 27 unders. But I thought this was amazing. It's crazy when you start going through each game. You're like, oh, the overs or the unders are 10 and 3, 11 and 3, 12 and 3, 30, and all of a sudden all the overs come in and it seems to balance out. And I'm sitting there looking at these 47 games, 23 and 24. The favorites over the underdog. So smack on. And of course, a nice win there for the Indiana Hoosiers last night. They won their first national championship. It is, of course, the first national championship for a coach in his first 2 years since Gene Chizik did it for the Auburn Tigers back in 2010. I thought I'd never, ever say the words Gene Chizik again, but only the second time that happened.
Well, hopefully it turns out better for Signetti than it did for Gene, because he was fired by the season after the season succeeding his championship season.
It was. Miami was a covering machine this year. They get the cover again, 11 and 3 against the spread. And I was sitting there. I did not have any action in the game last night. $1:56 left. They're at the 14-yard line. They have a 2nd and 1, which is perfect because they can run the ball. They were out of timeouts, and then the 5-yard flinching. The 5-yard flinching penalty pushes them back to the 19 and throws everything off, because at that point you realize they're probably going to run the football, and what's going to happen? They're going to win by 6 and not by 10, which of course was a very pivotal number, and that 3 put it over the total of 47.5. So it was exciting stuff there, Case. I'm sure you had a lot of people biting fingernails in the last 2 minutes of that ball game last night.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, right on the side, right on the total. I would have enjoyed it way more if Miami won, about 11 times more. But hopefully you listened to what I said Friday or read my thing. I absolutely crushed the game. I still made money despite losing my whole futures portfolio. I think every prop I gave out won, other than one that Surratt wasn't their leading receiver. But I loved Mendoza anytime touchdown. I said all Tony overs. If you listen real close to the show, I think you guys talked me into one. I liked the Beck passing over, just thinking Miami was going to be playing from behind a lot of the way. So it was a fun night for sure. I was even talked myself into over for the game under in the first half I talked about here. So it was a good way for the season to go out. Just would have been a little bit better if Miami could have pulled it off.
Yeah, we threw that question out. Whoever throws for more yards, will they win the football game? And we had a little bit of a differential between the rest of us. So Mendoza, of course, only $1.86, no touchdowns, no picks, 16 of 27, very efficient. And then Carson Beck, 19 of 32, 232. And 1-1. And you mentioned Malachi Tony setting a record in that bowl game with 211 slash all-purpose receiving yards. He was unbelievable. And what a great player. He's going to be something at the next level. Kai, it was a lot of fun. And I know as a guy that has dabbled in this booking business for a long period of time, you were probably looking at some numbers too. I'm not sure which sides you needed on that particular thing. I kept thinking to myself, because 10-0 at halftime, I'm not sure what the halftime line was. It was about as boring as it could get in the first half, and I was just praying we'd have a good second half. Didn't think it was going to reach that 48 like it did. Good for folks who had the over, but what were your thoughts on the game?
There was a lot of times where, a lot of people, if they bet it early, they got it at 48.5 or 48. So a lot of pushes came in there, but the line dropped, that total dropped to 47 and even 46.5 in a couple of places. And what's crazy is online is I actually saw, and it was, 45 seconds before kickoff, I saw a 6.5 as well on one of the places. Pretty much everywhere else was standard 7. But when they got down and when he flinched, which he did flinch, so
he did.
But I'm going to tell you what, I saw some alternate lines plus 3.5.
Yeah.
Where some people were happy and then really upset with that, because if he doesn't flinch, if they get a first down, it's over.
And we don't know if they would have scored a touchdown there, but who knows? And they weren't going to let them score a touchdown because they only had a 2-point or two game. But it just I'm thinking to myself, if I had the -8.5 and it stuck tight, because it just went back and forth all night long, and that's what made that game so great too.
I did not see. I will tell you that I did not see anybody take a -8.5. I saw some 7s. And then I saw the other, the guy I know that does this. He was pretty much split down the middle and made a lot of money on the total. But the way it's crazy because every single way you could do a teaser hit in that game.
Yeah.
So that favors the public when teasers hit like that. That happens. A lot of people, Indiana. I mean, if you had Indiana minus the half or -1, -1.5 on a 7-point or 2.5 on a 6-point, you were sitting pretty the whole time. If you had Miami +7, you didn't really care what happened in the end if they drive down and score a touchdown unless you had money line. But a lot of people, to me, some smart gamblers, if they get a 7 or a 7.5, instead of just taking that 7, they'll do money line because a lot of times, and I think Case can talk to this as well, is anytime something's under 7, if you're going to take the dog, a lot of times you might as well take the money line because you're going to make just as much money a lot of times and more in that. If you think the team has a chance to win, then money line's a great way to go.
Yeah, Kip, it's funny because we just started the show a few minutes ago, and we were going to give you the way too early top 25 for next season already, which I'm just always jonesing on. I love this. And you've had this love affair with Indiana, the fact that it's from the Big Ten. They didn't play anybody early in the season. Amazingly, they end up beating 6 top 10 teams this year. That's crazy. Top 10 teams.
Well, Miami beat 7, so I mean,
they beat 7 top 25s.
Right,
7 top 25s is a big difference, and I mean they beat 6 top 10s, which is just unbelievable.
So one beat 6 and one beat 7.
But one's with top 20, one was against top 10, and one was against top 25. It's a big damn difference between number 9 team and number 24 team.
No, I get it. If you don't have teenage kids, you don't understand the 6-7.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, 6-7. Yeah, thank you very much. I should know that because I've got a couple of teenagers in my family. It was really interesting. And of course, this is the last time that a Heisman Trophy winner ended up winning a Heisman Trophy and a national title. The last time that happened.
I give them a lot of credit. They executed well. They did everything they had to do to win. But as always, there's the one little thing you guys didn't mention in this back and forth battle, the most ridiculous thing in the whole game, where the stupid Australian runs sideways right into an oncoming rusher and kicks it right into his gut. That was kind of a seminal play in the game. Indiana had the benefit, and Kai argued last show, and probably properly, that all these mistakes that teams make and all of these gift points that Indiana gets, are generated by their effort, and certainly that's the case. But that was the most ridiculous punt block I think I've ever seen, because the whole idea of the Australian punter is that they can get their kind of running start and get their kickoff and be more effective. I don't like that trend anyway. And in this case, the punter's got to sense if there's pressure. You can't run parallel and kick the ball right into the path of an oncoming guy. That was just a ridiculous play, and it turned out to be the most important play from a gambling standpoint, because it set the tone for what the final result was going to be. Case might have been counting his Miami money this morning if he just had an American punter who could just get the ball out of there. When you're down on your goal line, you don't run around before you kick the ball. That was just idiocy.
That was your defender of the game, by the way, for Indiana. And the last time that a Heisman Trophy winner ends up winning the national title game was back in 2020 when Devonta Smith ended up taking it as a wide receiver. We don't see that very often. That was a pivotal game. It was interesting because the defender who ended up knocking that ball down, and obviously he was not the one that got the touchdown out of it. He said he didn't even realize, he just was going in for pressure. He didn't. There was not a block. There was not a block on for that play. He just, next thing you know, the ball's right in his face, and he's like, "Holy crap!"
He kicked it right into his gut. I mean, you don't ever see that. That was ridiculous.
No, you won't. We'll talk a lot of NFL. We got another NFL firing. Coach has won the second amount of games. Coaches since 2007. I still can't believe that McDermott's going to be looking for a job. He'll get picked up pretty quick. We'll get into that coming up here as we get ready for Super Bowl 60 coming up here in just a few minutes. Case, it's interesting because where did you watch? Did you watch the game from the house, or were you on a book somewhere?
At home.
What that first half, and you mentioned you had the under, and we did too here on K4Wins, and it ended up going over. And again, to knock out 38 points in the second half, that was pretty amazing in itself. What were your feelings in the first half of that ball game? Because I'm sitting there looking at my son going, I waited 46 bowl games for this. And I realized that, listen, you need to wait the entire 60 minutes. A lot can change, and it turned out to be almost an instant classic in the second half of that game. But that first half of the game, what were you feeling about?
I'm kind of a I don't know what the word is to say, but I'm kind of crazy in that I kind of like games like that. I got to give Miami credit. I loved their game plan. I mean, they said we have the bigger, stronger, faster. We're just going to hit the shit out of Indiana and dare them to throw the flag. And I know this might be controversial. Some people might be complaining about Signetti, but I think he's absolutely right when he said they could have thrown 3 more personal fouls. Yeah. They could have called pass interference on every play. It was really like a throwback game to me, at least Miami defensively. And I mean, Mendoza, I've never they showed it a couple times on the broadcast. The entire Raiders brain trust was on the sidelines. There's Tom Brady, Mark Davis, the 2 new owners they had, John Spytek, the GM. I think those guys are wanting to run out there like take it easy because he just got beat more than anyone I've
just son of a bitch, and that touchdown run was just beautiful.
Oh yeah, and then that was in the second half. I mean, it just got worse. But I really liked the way Miami approached it. They dared the officials to throw the flag. I think they knew they probably weren't just going to throw flags on every play in the championship game, and they did get a couple. But I honestly think that they could have gotten a flag like every play. So I think they had the right plan. But this Indiana team was just so tough all year and just took things like that. So I really kind of enjoyed the game. I didn't enjoy Miami's offense, I should say, and that's one thing that really shocked me. I was not surprised at all to see how good Miami's defensive line is. I mean, those guys are unbelievable. I know they had a down game against Ole Miss, but I think they were dominant on their side at all. But the Indiana defensive line was way better than the Miami offensive line, which I didn't see coming. I mean, they were even without a couple starters. I talked about at the beginning of the playoffs. One reason why I kind of considered jumping off Indiana, which I didn't ultimately end up doing, because I bet them the 2 games before, was because Charles Daly got hurt, the guy who played every single snap on the defensive line. They had another guy banged up. So I was really surprised by how much Miami's offensive line struggled early. That was one thing that stood out.
No, and after the game, Carson Beck says, listen, if you told me I was going to have the football with $1 and some change left, down 6, with a full field in front of me, I would have jumped on it. I would have absolutely loved it. And of course, that last pick, he shouldered the blame for that. I'm not really sure what happened there. It looked like someone ran a wrong route or something. It was weird how he floated that ball in, because he was spot on. He made some incredible throws last night. Again, despite the fact that he goes 1-on-1, 232.
I mean, that's why one guy's going to go first overall and the other guy's going to go in like the 4th round. When Indiana had to have it, you saw Mendoza on those 2 4th downs. I mean, absolutely perfect back shoulder throw. And then I don't know how he still scored in that run. I'm glad he did. And then, I mean, when Beck had to have it, he threw it.
That's a painting. That's a painting. Who's the guy that does all the Alabama paintings? That's a painting, man, where he's holding the ball over the goal line. It was so beautiful. It was so, I mean, and the guy's got a heart of gold too. He's obviously going to be done for this year. 27 victories Signetti's got in his first 2 years in college football. That's amazing. 11 victories last year and 16 this year. So kudos to, of course, Indiana. They get it done. We'll have our top 25 here in a second. Any other thoughts on this game, guys, you want to get into before I give our preseason? Because we do have a lot of NFL we want to get into that I think is going to be interesting. Go ahead.
I got a question that I'd like to hear from us. So, and I know Kip is not going to feel the same way I do from the Big Ten, but what team has been as dominant as Indiana that has won the national championship recently? I mean, I go back to where, I mean, this week, and even for the last month, since the playoffs started, pretty much, I mean, yeah, Miami gave them a run, but Indiana has not had a really tough game where they've been scared for a while. They had, three of those thoughts this year, but since LSU, really in 19, going into the national championship game, has anybody or even the playoffs felt as confident about Indiana or any other team as they have Indiana in a long time? Because they're going to, because they were 16-0, be considered one of the most dominant college football national champions in a long time, which I totally understand that we're 16-0. But that is the question: is if you had to go back, what other team would you put there? We kind of talked about this last week a little bit, but what do y'all think?
Notre Dame. And there's Freeman on the post-game show, and I'm like,
Notre Dame. I'm talking about an actual national championship team.
I know. I just still would say that it would have been a much better series if Notre Dame have been in there. But I know what you're talking
Because
about.
LSU in 19 had a dominant offense, but not necessarily a dominant defense. Because they were scoring 40 but giving up 39 to win. But you look at, even because God Almighty, they threw it in our face, the 2001, I guess, Miami team. But what teams have been, this dominant when you think about it?
I think their path wasn't that. The Alabama win, I'm not impressed. Alabama didn't show up. Alabama was not a very good team at the second half of the year. I'm not in awe of the win against Alabama, and Oregon just absolutely self-destructed and was just as responsible for beating the shit out of themselves as Indiana was. Again, I sound like it's sour grapes. It's not. I respect what Cignetti has done and what Indiana does to execute and really maximize the personnel they have with a older, more experienced roster, and they get all the credit in the world. But I'm just not ready to declare this one of the great teams of all time because I just don't think their path was that daunting. That they were on the verge of losing to Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, which could have changed everything. But Ohio State had the ball inside the 10 twice in the fourth quarter in a 3-point game and got 0 points. And then the game last night was highly competitive.
Don't you have to give Indiana a little credit for that?
Well, I just said it. I said I give Indiana all the credit. They found the way to win those games. But I don't think they're one of the great teams of all time. I think people are really just overreacting.
And now, well, it's a great story. And now to beat 6 top 10 teams is unbelievable. If we end up going to 16 and have to add a game,
well, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think in my mind who are the 6 teams. I don't remember that many wins against top 10s.
Yeah, I have to go through the schedule, but there were 6 top 10 teams. It's all over the place. It's the stat. It's the stat of the day.
I guess Alabama was in the top 10 because they were ranked number 8 in the BCS and they won their game. So. But again, if Alabama's one of the 10 best teams in the country, I'm a fighter jet pilot because they just weren't.
I don't know. I find it interesting both ways. I think this team's place in history is absolutely. I thought no one would go 16-0. I don't really even care how you did it. If you go 16-0,
yeah, that's unbelievable.
You should be mentioned historically. I will say it's like most of the games weren't even close. For the other thing, I mean, I know the Ohio State game. You could say they got a little lucky in that one, but really, if you look at the efficiency numbers and you go to like post game win expectancy, it was like a coin flip. Either team could have won. It's not like they just completely lucked out. I will also say I'm a lot of times the first guy like Kip that's like banging on the table. Like, how's this team keep getting so lucky? They have all these special teams, these pick sixes, but I mean, it's a 16-game season now. This is a large sample. I really just do think Indiana were better prepared, more dialed in. Their special teams were just better than everyone's this year, and I don't think that's a complete randomness. But more on, I guess what he's trying to say is just from a power rating perspective, like if we were aligning the games, I don't have them as dominant as like several of the last champions. I mean, 2020 Alabama famously, if you ask people that really bet seriously, are just as good or better than 2019 LSU that everyone talks about. Probably even the first Georgia team. There's a whole handful of recent teams that I think were more dominant if we're just going straight power ratings. But I just think
I can't give credit to a COVID champion though. I just can't.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That there is an asterisk. I think. Just historically, though, 16-0. I mean, I was on the show. I probably said it a million times. I didn't think anyone would go 16-0.
No,
so I think going 16-0, no matter how you did it, that secures their place in history. But if we're just going straight dominant, like what the point spread would be, I mean, there's probably, I'd say, at least 6 or 7 teams from the last 20 years that would be rated higher than this.
And let's be honest, you're probably going to see more teams beating 6 top 10 teams because they had to beat 4 of them just to get to the national championship game. I mean,
especially if we expand the playoff.
Yeah, if they expand the playoffs, you're going to be playing 5 or 6 top 10 teams because you're going to have to. So you probably will see a 17-0. All right, the way too early top 25 for ESPN. And again, these aren't mine, but these are.
I also one thing this drives me crazy. I'm not picking on Kip, but who was the older team last night? Miami had the older starters by like easily. Everyone's jumping on this. Indiana's just got a bunch of 24-year-olds. It was just a couple of their good players were old, but they weren't like way much older than everyone else. If you go
Yeah, the
position by
total
position,
roster, I
that
guess,
was driving
but
me
yeah,
crazy.
I never seen a break. I never saw a breakdown on who's actually starting. So that's an interesting fact. I mean, let's just leave it at this. Indiana clearly the best team this year, deserved to win the championship. Unbelievable. If you go 16-0 in this environment, it's an amazing accomplishment. I'm just not sure. You know, if Tony had been right last night, and a lot of people, and boy, I ran, a lot of people, this game will be over by halftime. This is going to be a blowout. This is the most dominant team of all time. Well, they didn't dominate the game last night. They had to play their ass off against a really good team. If they'd have won by 3 or 4 touchdowns, maybe we could have in this discussion. But Miami showed that, man to man, they were pretty much on the same level. So, congratulations to Cignetti. What a great accomplishment. I still think he's kind of an odd duck, but and I'll finish it off with this. The check mark for the coaching side goes strictly to Cignetti and staff. I love what he said about the quarterback draw. We saw something in the film, and we knew they'd going to be in that defense, and we put that play in just for this game. We thought it would work, and it did. So that's the kind of thing that really puts the exclamation point on it for me. Congratulations to them. They deserve to win it. 16-0, a tremendous accomplishment.
We can
And
finally
props to both of y'all for saying Miami would be there. When we talked about it and Tony said, yes, no, could they be there? I said no immediately, and both of y'all were like, oh, yeah. And I was like, no.
Because they had in the words of Heather Dinich and Nicole Auerbach, well, because Miami had the dudes when Indiana barely beat Penn State. Well, they might have lost 6 in a row, but they've got dudes. So Miami showed they had some dudes last night too.
Yeah, Indiana knocked off Miami. They knocked off Alabama. They knocked off Ohio State. They knocked off Penn State when Penn State was good. They
were not ranked at that time.
And they knocked
they
off.
Lost 5 in a row.
I didn't say they were. And they knocked off Oregon twice.
I thought you were telling me the top 10 teams they beat.
No. Those all were top 10 with the exception of Penn State, but no. And then they knocked off Oregon twice, which is amazing. All right, Mark Schlabach, top 25. Indiana, number 1.
They're the defending national champions, and I totally get that, and I totally agree with preseason stuff. If you're basing on that, I can totally. Now, first off, let me preface this with, I don't think there should be a top 25 until October.
December. Like I said, this is the way too early top 25. I know exactly. This is why
but if you're going to do it, then you absolutely put the defending champion as number 1 because nobody's beat him, and they're still the defending champion.
But little brother Mendoza is going to be the quarterback, not Fernando.
No, Josh Hoover.
Josh Hoover. Josh Hoover.
Hoover like $5 million.
Let me tell you what. They're not going to lose that much with Josh Hoover coming in from TCU.
I said it last week.
I did not know that was a done deal. That's pretty revealing.
Yeah, but they also lost their strength and conditioning coach this morning.
Oh, that could be a big factor.
Yeah, there you have it.
There's a lot of talk that they're not Shanahan, but there's a lot of talk that their co-OC might be coming to the Raiders too. I can't remember his name. But
Kip's gonna love this. Texas, number 2. I can't make this shit up. I can't. It's too good.
Arch Manning is this close to breakthrough. I mean, that Texas Longhorns. Oh, good grief!
And they do have Cam Coleman coming in from Auburn as one of those transfers. So look out now, because Auburn's got some good transfers. Number 3, the Fighting Irish, Notre Dame. Number 4, Georgia Bulldogs. Number 5, Oregon Ducks. Number 6, Ohio State. Number 7, Texas Tech. Must be the real deal. They do have Brendan Sorsby coming from Cincinnati. I don't know how that's going to change.
Yeah, good grief.
He was good early in the year, but he kind of fell off. They do have some kids from Pitt, Liberty, Malcolm Simmons from Auburn. Almost every one of these teams has a team from Auburn on it, which is pretty doggone fun.
Well, when you have 39 guys in the portal, they're going to get spread around pretty good.
Miami Hurricanes, number 8. Carson Beck will be gone. Brockmeyer's gone. Daniel's gone. Marion's gone. Ruben Bain, who I love, is gone. But they're getting a kid here, Jaquez Carter from Ohio State, Cam Vaughn from West Virginia. Old Miss, number 9. A&M, number 10.
With Pete Golding as coach. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, but they do have a lot of additions, including Deuce Knight from Auburn, another one from Auburn who's going to be joining someone else. A&M number 10, a little bit of a surprise. BYU number 11, a little high for the Cougs. Number 12, the Oklahoma Sooners. Number 13, USC. Number 14, Louisville Cardinals. Number 15, LSU Bayou Bengal Tigers. Number 16, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Number 17, SMU. Number 18, the Michigan Wolverines. Boy, they've kind of fallen off, haven't they?
They're always in the top 20, no matter if they've got. I mean, Michigan's a must add every year, no matter what they have.
Well, they're losing a lot on their defense too, but they're getting a lot of transfers in there too.
But they're getting a real coach.
Yeah, that's true. Finally, yeah, the one that doesn't bang all the human resources. Number 19, Washington Huskies. Notice I have not said the Alabama Crimson Tide yet. Just thought I'd bring that up, by the way. Number 20, TCU.
Without Hoover now. Mm-hmm.
With the way the 2025 season ended, the Tide fell to Georgia 28-7. The SEC championship game beat Oklahoma. In the first game, pummeled 38-3 by Indiana. Quarterfinal coach Kellen Bador is undoubtedly on the hot seat. Entering his third season in Tuscaloosa, his team went 20-8 the first two seasons, which isn't good enough at Alabama. They're ranked 125th in rushing. They must figure out a way to run the ball. It starts up front where Alabama has mediocre play on the offensive line. There were heavy losses in the front seven on defense after Lawson, Jefferson, Keenan, and Overton all turned pro. Alabama is number 21 on this list. Let me tell you what.
And the offensive line coach, Klavovich, still has a job. So that tells you everything you need to know.
They've got 4 strong transfers on the offensive line coming in.
They did on the last day they got those guys, so that's encouraging. But yikes, I don't know what's going on down there. They were just so dysfunctional down the stretch.
They really were. And the thing is,
they trailed Oklahoma 17-0. Don't forget that. Also, and Oklahoma gave them 2 touchdowns, got them back in the game. Alabama should have been out probably that night in Norman.
And every damn Monday morning quarterback was telling everybody what the problem was. That was the strange thing. We all knew it was the running game. They ranked 124th in rushing, and they could not run the football. Number 22, Penn State. The Nittany Lions are back after a 7.
Let's just recycle every zero from this year. This is almost identical to last year's teams. I mean,
not even close. Clemson's not in here. I mean, Texas, you can make an argument, but we can look at the preseason last year. I promise you it's not, because BYU wasn't in the mix. Arizona State Sun Devils, number 23. Tennessee Volunteers, number 24. After a disappointing 2025 season, Josh.
Yeah, speaking of not finishing very strong on this year's schedule.
Firing coordinator Tim Banks, replacing the former Penn State coordinator Jim Knowles. I don't know if that was a good move. The Knowles ranked 14th in the SEC in scoring defense. Total defense last season.
Their defense is going to be better with the transfers they've gotten in, and I think getting the strength and conditioning coach from Indiana is not going to hurt. It's going to be interesting to see what they do on offense at quarterback, because I'm pretty sure Staub from Colorado is not the answer. Hopefully, they're going to go with either letting Brandon come in and play as a freshman, or GMAC and go from there. But Tennessee's schedule next year is not easy.
Your Utah.
What happened? In the preseason, you were saying the guy they had was really pushing Aguilar for the job. Did he go somewhere else? I forgot his name, or is he still in the mix there?
Jake Merklinger, he entered the transfer portal, but GMAC, George McIntyre, can do the job. The only problem is he's like 6'6", 202. They say in the 2 years he's been at Tennessee, he's gained a total of 18 pounds. He needs to put on 25 more pounds to run Heupel's offense. But he is capable. We'll see. I mean, I love the defensive transfers that have come in, and the fact that Arian Carter is coming back to Tennessee. I think their defense is going to be a ton better next year, which is not saying a lot because they sucked. But I just don't know what the offense is going to be, and it's way too soon to tell. Anyway, I'm just excited that baseball season for my Vols is here, and the Elander era is going for Tennessee.
Thank goodness. Utah Utes, by the way, round out your top 25, coming off an 11-2 season.
With their new private equity deal, they probably should be number 1.
Mm-hmm. You may be onto something there, Kipper.
Texas $3 million. You got to think Texas is. I mean, their portal has been very good. They have strengthened their offensive line. They have strengthened their wide receiver core. They're running. Arch is going to be the favorite. Kip, just hold on. He's going to be the favorite going in or second.
No.
As far as Heisman, just because that's where they're going to put him because his last name's Manning. I didn't say I agreed. Just be prepared. He's going to have top 3 odds.
The question
I think he's second. Yeah, CJ Carr is the favorite, which I'm very disappointed in because I really wanted to bet CJ Carr, and I thought I'd get something around 10-1, but he's like the 7-1 favorite when I've seen.
I'm being straight honest. I'm being straight honest here, and I want to know an answer from Kip Cooper. How many times will you say Texas sucks next year?
I don't know. I haven't seen their schedule yet.
Okay.
I don't know how. If Schleybaugh really went over everybody's schedule meticulously, then I'll give him, okay. But I wonder if that's happened or if he's just regurgitating all the usual names.
I like. That's the first I heard. I like Schleybaugh. And I guess I'm the different one of us. I love these early season polls because I want people to start being excited and start betting. That's the first I heard Schleybaug's. I liked his a lot better than I don't know if the other one I saw was on 3, but I saw one that had Ohio State, Georgia 1-2, and I think I'm relatively
that's on
down.
3. Yeah,
mm-hmm. I think I'm relatively down on Ohio State and Georgia. To me, there's a clear top 3. I know this will be fun, and Kip my head. I feel like Notre Dame, Texas, and if you're giving me 3 teams to win the national championship next year with what's been done in the portal, what they have coming back, I think Notre Dame, Texas, Oregon to me is a level above. I mean, I was saying all year that I thought Oregon should be building for next year. Now they have their quarterback back, obviously off of a terrible performance, but he's still going to go second in the draft. So Case Kiefer's top 25. I'll tell you the top 3 is Notre Dame, Texas, Oregon, and then a big drop off. Probably Indiana 4th, and then I'd get into the Ohio State.
All I can say about that is congratulations, Greg Sankey. One of the foremost experts didn't pick any of your teams in his top group, and you've added a 9th conference game. So nice job, Greg, you bum.
Wow. All right, here's Texas's schedule. Give me wins and losses. Kip, you ready? They open the season September 5th against Texas State.
Oh, they might be able to pull that one out.
At home the following week, September 12th, they have the Ohio State Buckeyes at DKR Texas Memorial Stadium. You like them to win against the Ohio State Buckeyes at home?
At home, I'd give them the edge, but that's certainly a toss-up right away to a national championship.
Okay, third game's also at home against UTSA, the Roadrunners.
Oh, good grief. I thought we were getting rid of cupcake games.
Those are good. UTSA and Texas State are both very good programs from in-state. I mean, that's way better than playing Charlotte or, Mercer or whatever teams. I agree I know I bang the drum for this all the time, but I hate teams that play the FCS. At least play good teams in your state. Are they going to win those games? Yeah, but those are 2 teams that –
And that is a good point because it is ridiculous to import teams and both of those teams did have some – but those are still minor league teams.
It's only 3 games of the season. Let me finish the schedule for God's sakes. I mean, you got to have some cream puffs at the beginning, right? All right, game 4 on the road, Neyland Stadium, Tennessee.
Oh, that's a possible loss for sure.
Okay, you're gonna give it a loss.
That's a good one. I'd lean. I think Texas will be a small favorite, but yeah, they could lose.
All right, and then they head to the Cotton Bowl against Oklahoma. It gets tough. I mean, you got Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Ohio State 3 of your first 5 games. That's pretty tough.
Yeah,
I got them at 5-0.
Do you? All right, then let's go to Game 6 at home against the Florida Gators.
6-0.
Yeah, they'll get revenge there because Florida just embarrassed.
Then they got Old Miss at home. The only thing is they got almost every game at home this year. Then they got Old Miss.
I'm with Kip, and I think unless Chambliss wins his lawsuit, I'm going to be way down on Ole Miss next year, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he's winning it.
Finally, a cream puff here, if you will. Halloween night, October 31st, at home again, Mississippi State.
Yeah, that's a win. 8-0.
They then go on the road to Missouri. And Missouri, by the way, they fell off the face of the earth. They're nowhere to be found. Then LSU at Tiger Stadium on the 14th.
Possible loss, but we don't know what that LSU is going to be. Guy's already got him winning the national championship.
Let's go Arkansas at home again.
Yeah, Arkansas is going to be a mess.
And your final game is A&M at Kyle Field. It's tough
Yeah.
schedule. It's a tough schedule, but they have 7 home games.
It's a lot tougher than they've had recently, where they played all 6 bottom feeders in the SEC, except for Georgia. But I will say, I see 3 or 4 potential losses in that schedule.
Yeah, I'd say I honestly, going through the schedule, I'd say 10-2, but I'd still pick. I mean, I'd still have them solidly in the playoffs at 10-2, and someone that I think talent wise, it's arguably the most talent in the nation. So that would be my.
Yeah, I think they have to be the SEC favorite going into next year. I mean,
Sarkisian has to prove that he can win the big games, and he's not done that so far.
Yeah, and just for fun, I wanted to look up Notre Dame's schedule because I know that they kind of got packed up. They play They really is. They play Wisconsin and Green Bay on the 6th.
USC quit the series, right?
They did.
Yes.
They did. Then they have Rice, Michigan State, at Purdue, at North Carolina, all a Navy in Foxborough, Miami of Florida, Boston College, SMU, Stanford, at Syracuse, and at BYU. If Notre Dame doesn't go undefeated next year, they can't afford to lose 1 game this year, let alone 2 like they did last year. Maybe they've learned their lessons, but they're going to have to roll. They're going to have to roll through the schedule. It probably went by 30 every game too. That's amazing.
That schedule is that's what people kept linking Marcus Freeman to NFL jobs, and I do think he's going to leave, but I think there was no way he's leaving before next year. I mean, yeah.
I mean, their over under is probably going to be at least 11, if not 11 and a half. I mean, just depending. If they put it out at 10 and a half, the over money is going to come in on that schedule just huge.
Yeah, and just for shits and giggles, because we're down here in Birmingham, Alabama, and of course, so we are well represented out there in beautiful Las Vegas sun. I wanted to go through the Crimson Tide schedule. Give me wins or losses. Bryant Denny, East Carolina Pirates to kick off the season. That's a win. At Kroger Field, Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, the 4 of us can beat Kentucky.
I'm impressed by what Kentucky's done, but I'd still think Alabama's going to be a favorite in that game.
Then Florida State, Bryant Denny.
That a little revenge in mind there. Norvell's got a dumpster fire.
Yeah, Florida State supposedly has money problems. They didn't get. I mean, it looked like I think that's why Calandria left UNLV at first. Was he thought he was going to go to Florida State, and then Nebraska offered him more money, and they couldn't match. So I've heard Florida State's financials are a wreck. So I still think Alabama.
Gamecocks at home.
4-0.
They're not going to be any good.
Mississippi State at Davis Wade.
That's a joke.
October 10th, Georgia Bulldogs at home.
5-1.
Loss.
You think it's a loss? Okay. At Tennessee?
Loss.
Yep, I agree.
I hope so.
A&M at home?
Win.
Loss. Kalen DeBoer fired with
I'm saying this, and this is the sad thing now. I would think to myself, if you make the playoffs, that's good enough. For Kalen DeBoer, you can say it's not fair or not. It is not good enough for him to go to the playoffs. He's got to win in the playoffs now, or else he's going to lose his ass this year, period. It's not good enough for him just to show up and get blown out. In most cases, we go, dude, we made the playoffs every year. I don't give a shit.
Well,
Kalen DeBoer's not only got to go to the playoffs, he's got to go far, because then they got off. They got the A&M Aggies, Bryant Denny on the 24th. They're off. They always got an off before LSU. I don't know why. They play Tiger Stadium at LSU, at Vanderbilt, Chattanooga Mocs at Bryant Denny, then the Auburn Tigers at home. That is, you want to talk about an easy schedule for the Crimson Tide. They got to roll.
10-2 or 9-3. Yeah, it's 10-2 or 9-3. But here's the thing that Alabama fans.
It better be 10-2. It better be 10-2.
Alabama fans need to grasp this right here. If you're gonna get rid of DeBoer, who the hell are you gonna get that's better?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't saying they should get rid of him. That's just my prediction. I also will say there's a lot of time. My perception can change, but I'm kind of unfairly colored because I really have been looking ahead to next year, trying to get ready to bet these futures and listen to at least one other show with some people I really trust that I know bet really big, and just talking to people. I know that I think there's going to be an anti-Alabama sentiment in the market next year. I've heard that people have not been impressed with what they've done in the portal, that they're not spending as much. I mean, they're nowhere near the level of like Texas and LSU.
They don't have the money.
Yeah, for example, I've heard Austin Mack might be a little bit of not all he's cracked up to be. So I know some people that kind of shape the market pretty heavily that are down on Alabama, and just hearing them say that kind of made me more down on them a little bit. But who knows? A lot of time I could change my opinion, but I don't think it's going to be like the last 2 years where you saw Alabama take a lot of money in the preseason.
Did you see Mark Cuban on the sidelines last night with that big smile on his face and all that money he spent on those Hoosiers? He was so happy. He was a deep cutter, big time. It was nice to see the big time money. Yeah, you got guys worth millions and billions of dollars. If Elon Musk wants to win a national title, he can throw some money at somebody, and it's over. I mean, you can go buy whatever you want. So,
and the last time I checked, Alabama's biggest booster, the legend, doesn't quite have enough money to buy players.
No, and I'm trying to think. Kip, you probably know this because you're just a Rolodex of information. When was the last time Alabama was ranked preseason that low?
It's been eons ago.
Was it Saban's first year, maybe 2007, 2006?
I bet they were. I don't know how rankings. I think that was still 2007. I don't know how the rankings really. I don't think you had anybody putting out rankings this time of year then.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I've been doing radio for 40 years, my friend.
I used to wait in the summer to get my magazine, get Street and Smiths. I didn't see. Maybe there were ratings out, but I wasn't aware of them back then.
Yeah, that was preseason. We did that every year. All right, let's talk some NFL, man. We got a Super Bowl 60 coming up. I love Super Bowls because I was born in 66, so I can always tell how old I am based on what Super Bowl it is. What year is it? It's Super Bowl 60 because I'm turning 60 this year. Pats, Broncos. Pats giving up 5.5 against the Broncos. Thanks to those Pats, I made me a winner chicken dinner against the Legends past weekend. That was nice. And then Rams, Seahawks. Boy, Stafford looked good.
Boy, the NFC West is the epicenter of the NFL, is it not? Good grief.
I mean to tell you now, and it's unfortunate they have to play each other because I think you get your two best teams right there. Rams, Seahawks giving up 2.5 and 47.5. Let's start with the man up in the upper left-hand corner as we do Hollywood Squares here. Case Kiefer, give me a two-team parlay on those 4 teams.
He doesn't like parlays.
I know you don't. Not just for sake of. It's just another way. This is repackaging the pickle, my friend. This is another way of asking you who's going to win these two football games.
I get it. It's hard not to say it's going to be Rams Patriots. I will say though, I bet both underdogs. A little bit better. You can still get a 3. You just have to pay up for it. I bet Rams +3 and Broncos +6. It got to on open. I just think that it is insane. I mean, I've been a big Bo Nix guy this year. Actually, you guys know I've been saying all year he deserves a lot of credit. He's gotten way better, but this was. Some places had this -3 on the look ahead, which granted that was probably a little high. Look ahead wise,
Broncos -3 with
this was the look ahead last week at least one sportsbook. I think other ones had -2.5. It was high as -3. Bo Nix gets hurt. They go to Jarrett Stidham, who maybe I'm biased because I'm a big Jarrett Stidham guy. He was with the Raiders for 2 years, just one of the best guys. Always around, always a really good guy to talk to. We share the same birthday, fun fact. But I love Jarrett Stidham, so I'm rooting for him. I think he's a good backup, too. I mean, he started 2 games for the Raiders. If you remember the one game, he put up like 300 passing yards. They took the 49ers team that went to the conference championship game to overtime. He wasn't so good the next week. But so if the game was 3 on the look ahead and it got all the way to 6, that's a 9-point drop off from Bo Nix to Jarrett Stidham. Again, I like Bo Nix, but that was just insane to me. And even now we've finally seen some Broncos buyback. I mean, you're still talking about more than a touchdown drop off. I don't know if it's that big. So it'd be hard for me not to say the Patriots are going to win outright, but I'm rooting for Jarrett, and I think that I think they have a chance to be competitive here. So there's no way I could lay that price with the Patriots. The Rams, I mean, I just think the Rams outplayed Seattle, that game in Seattle that, probably the game of the year right now on that Thursday night where the Seahawks came back and won. You remember all the crazy things that happened, the 2-point conversion, fumble. I mean, everything had to go right for the Seahawks to win that game. I do think the Seahawks are awesome. I think these are the 2 best teams, and whoever wins will win the Super Bowl. But I do think the Rams are just a little bit better. So if it gets to 3, and like I said, I still see some sports books with 3 -15, -20. I'm probably not interested in taking less than that, but I would take Rams +3 as well.
Yeah, Broncos, of course, was Stidham, another former Auburn quarterback. And you think to yourself, Auburn must have been pretty good the last few years, right?
Yeah,
they
didn't utilize either one of them.
No, not even close. I still trying to figure out what the hell happened to Bo Nix. How in the world he just wasn't lighting it up at Auburn, period, regardless of who their OC was.
Born with an Auburn logo on his diaper, the
Oh my
legacy.
gosh.
I mean, he was given the job when he was in ninth grade, and Harsin benched him for TJ Finley and later Robbie Ashford.
Yeah, Robbie Ashford. Oh my gosh, give me a heart attack here. Kai, we haven't talked a lot of over-unders. 41.5, that Broncos line, it seems really, really low, but I think that's about right. And then 47.5, which seems to be a moniker number here. Of course, it went over 47.5 last night, if you got it at 47 or 48, depending where you bought in at. But what's your thoughts on the over-unders on AFC, NFC Championship weekend?
I played the over 47. It was not 47.5. I got it at 47, but I also have both teams over team total at 23.5. Already played that. I like the over in that game, and then CJ Stroud is not playing, so New England is not going to get 4 picks in this game. Watching probably the worst game of his career this past weekend, and honestly, 3 of the interceptions he threw were 1,000% on him. Nobody did anything. He threw it to the damn Patriots like he was on their team. And I do not think that, even though it's Stidham, I don't think he's going to do that. I'm not as high on Jared Stidham as Case is. I do think he can keep him in the game, be a good game manager if Denver can control the ball and do some things and run some good play action, because Stidham's best plays to me are coming off of play action, same as I think Bo Nix is. And Stidham can run just like Nix can, which can help them. But I would go 2-team parlay over in the Seattle game, and then I would probably go New England money line for the 2-team parlay if I had to right now.
All right, Kip, give me your 2-team per.
Defense wins championships. Seattle and Denver have the superior defenses in these matchups. But I got to tell you, what a gut check by against the Bears for the Rams. That is the most impressive win for me all year, because previous Rams teams, I didn't know this team had the resolve and the toughness they have. I knew they had a lot of talent, but man, they showed me a bunch. And I can't, as much as I've been loving Seattle's defense all year and thinking, I said probably halfway through the year, that's my Super Bowl team. I'm not so sure that Matthew Stafford and the Rams aren't the team of destiny. So I'm going to vary from my defensive win championships. I'm going to take Rams Broncos for the Super Bowl.
Matthew Stafford won a Super Bowl. Is he hanging up? He wins an MVP and a Super Bowl. Is he hanging up after this year? I mean, I
coming off one of his best years ever.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I mean, I thought he would have hung up after the last Super Bowl, but golly, he's having an unbelievable season.
Yeah, I just get the sense he won't. I think it's a worthy question and would be smart. It would be a great way to go out, but I feel like that'll just make him want to come back. The Rams probably need to get their next quarterback in the door, however they can. I know they're going to have like a top 10 pick from some trade. And I also want to clarify, like I'm not trying to make Jarrett Stidham out to be like should be an NFL starting quarterback. I figured the drop off from him to Nix, and this is in my head, very much non-scientific, but I thought it'd be like 4.5 or 5 points. And if you do that, you get out to like 2.5. So I was just shocked when it opened 4.5. Maybe I'm dead wrong and he's overmatched, but we'll see.
And I think the Patriots having to go on the road with such a young team, that's a big chore to go to Denver and win. I really, of the 2 games, Denver is the team, even with Stidham. I think Denver is going to win the game.
I hope you're right, because one of the things I gave out of my column at the beginning of the playoffs, I really thought both 1 seeds are being undervalued. So I have a big ticket on Broncos Seahawks Super Bowl matchup. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning the other way both games as far as who wins outright, but I'd love to see at least the Broncos get there.
Well, they're going to be great games, and I wrote a little piece for my Kip Kiefer Sports section and on Facebook this week that college football regular season absolutely gets the check mark. NFL postseason playoffs, overwhelmingly, college football has so far to go. These NFL playoff games have been captivating and just, they've been just so much fun to watch, and the atmosphere and I think one of the things that college football misses out on, these games at home, the Bears fans out there in 9-degree weather with blowing snow and 35-mile-an-hour winds, I would have jumped off the back of the stadium. I couldn't have lasted a half a quarter. The atmosphere there on the touchdown pass that was thrown to tie the game, unbelievable. And college football not being on campus, the top team's not getting a home game. That playoff system is just broken so badly. They're really missing out on probably the most compelling aspect that they could have to make their playoffs really more interesting.
When Caleb Williams kept running backwards, I'm like, where the hell is he going? He kept turning left and right and left and right and left and right, and then he just threw it. And I thought he was just throwing it away. Next thing you know, it's a touchdown. That was amazing.
It was strategy.
I mean, amazing. It was just
not great for Rams minus 3.5.
Oh no, man. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, man. You watch the NFL, you're gonna have ulcers. You're gonna have ulcers. You have to. I mean, it's just impossible not to.
Yeah, because nothing's over until it's over. That's for sure.
That's for sure. We've got about 2 or 3 minutes here. You want to knock out some NFL? We already got NFL, NHL, as well as some college. I know college hoops are big, and we're going to be all over March Madness now. We're starting to center our attentions not only on Super Bowl 60, but we're going to be all over college hoops. As well as some NBA coming up here the next following weeks, and we're looking forward to a March Madness. It's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen as well. So I cannot wait.
Kai, why don't you give it
pretty good plays tonight in college basketball, and people really got to look. I mean, that LSU Florida game, I think that line's a little bit inflated for Florida at home at 15, but over 158.5 on the total is pretty good. Oklahoma, South Carolina is a pick 'em, leaning South Carolina in that one. Oklahoma's playing well at home, not great on the road. Boise State, Wyoming, really low total, I think, in that game at 144.5. Just going through some of these. Auburn, Ole Miss, 150.5 is a total. And Ole Miss.
And Auburn's favorite, aren't they?
3. It's dropped to 2.5 in a lot of places. It's kind of interesting. Georgia, Missouri, I think, is a great matchup in the SEC for two teams that have been playing well, but I just don't know how well Georgia's going to do on the road. And right now, Georgia's a favorite or a pick, worst case. Purdue, -6 at UCLA. And then you really need to see what Case thinks. You know I'm going alma mater. Kansas at Colorado tonight, laying 5 down there. Kansas has not been playing great on the road.
Kansas has been terrible. They've been terrible on the road for like 3 straight years. It's insane. I do feel like this. God, I hate it. They never cover on the road or never even win on the road for that fact. I do think 5 feels a little short to me. I mean, this is like the healthiest they've been, other than they won't have their coach. Bill Self stayed behind, hospitalized. I guess he's sick or something. So
that might be a good thing.
I hate giving out Kansas on the road, but I do think this number is ever so slightly short. Just everyone's healthy, which is very rare than the case this year.
All right, guys, great stuff, man. We made it through the college football season. It won't be too long before we get back, and hopefully by the time we get back on the football fields, we'll fix the NIL thing. We'll fix the transfer portal. We won't have spring games anymore. And maybe we'll be going to, 16 teams next year. I hope we don't go to 24. Hell, we were talking during the show. If we go 2014 playoff, we're going to be playing more games in the playoffs than we are during the regular season.
Yeah, they're not going to go to 24 this year, but that's the Big Ten's big dream. They've abandoned the 5 automatic qualifiers. And now they figure if there's 24, we're going to get 5 in anyway. But, nobody else is in favor of that.
I mean, the entire top 25 gets the playoffs. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Tony Petitti, don't forget where he came from, Fox TV executive. It's all about having more games on TV. That's his agenda. And let's see if the rest of college football buckles like Sankey did on the schedule.
Special thanks, of course, to the Coastal Sports Digital Network. Angel and those guys do just a bang-up job. Of course, go check out the Las Vegas Sun and everything that Case Kiefer writes. Just an award winner, does write some fantastic stuff. Go check out the Birmingham Racecourse Casino. See Kip Kiefer down there. And, of course, keep in touch with Kai Greger. I'm Tony Kurre. Have yourself a wonderful day. We'll be back on Friday, 10 o'clock Central Time, right here on Tony Kurre Radio. Thank you, guys.